Welcome everyone. I'm super stoked to have Canadian wicketkeeper batsman Srimantha Wijeyeratne on my channel today, talking about his journey and cricketing career. He has a funny story about Carlos Brathwaite to share. Stay tuned.
Got him! What a delivery!
Welcome, Srimantha. It's so good to have you here. You're coming with back-to-back crucial 50s with Canada winning all 4 games in the Cricket World Cup League Two. What's it like in the Canadian camp right now?
Thanks for having me and thanks for connecting. It's good actually. We're taking a couple of days off before we head out again. But everyone's on a high. Everyone's feeling good. It's just showed that we put in some hard work over over a couple of months, and then it can actually pay off for sure. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean we're heading out for the preparations, and then we're playing a series against USA as well. So it's a huge boost for us, especially beating teams like Scotland and UAE at UAE. So they were ranked way higher than us. So beating them was definitely a big boost.
Before we go into detail talking about cricket, I want to kind of know and go in the past and know a little bit about you. What was it like for you growing up in Sri Lanka? I don't know if a lot of viewers know about that.
Born and raised in Sri Lanka. I was 19 years old when I moved to Canada. Been living here for about 15, 16 years now. Played all my cricket in Sri Lanka, played all the junior levels for my school. Played for Sri Lanka U19 as well, just before leaving Sri Lanka. So, cricket was at a pretty good, heading at a right direction before my family and I decided to make this move. But yeah, it's been a journey for sure. Looking back where I am, where I was, and now where I am. So it's a pretty good memory for sure.
Who did you idolize from the Sri Lankan team and even internationally growing up?
I used to idolize Romesh Kalitharna, just because he used to play in my I'd say my hometown club, Colts Cricket Club, and he was also wicketkeeper, opening batsman. So I kind of looked up to him. And then when I got older, Adam Gilchrist was one that I looked up to. AB de Villiers and Sangakkara, mostly the wicketkeepers.
I can't get over how amazing he was, for sure.
Yeah. Funny enough, I did meet him once in a physio session. I was 14, 15 years old. I was expecting him to ask me about my cricket and what do I do and all that stuff. But funny enough, he was just asking about my studies, which, back at the time I wasn't really interested in. But then later found out that, had high standards with his studies, almost became a lawyer and all that stuff. So,
Oh, wow.
it's not all about cricket with him.
I think Harsh even mentioned that, his parents were strict about having a career and then also pursuing cricket at the same time and not just having one or the other.
Yeah. Any South Asian parents, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. What was the experience like playing in the under-19 for Sri Lanka?
It was amazing. It was like, first of all, you don't go to school, you skip it. We had like a 3-month training camp, starting at 7 a.m. Then I go home at like 7 p.m., 8 p.m. I didn't see my parents for that long. And then just the grueling training sessions. We'll do fielding in the morning, fielding and fitness in the morning for 3-4 hours, and then you'll get a couple hours break in between, have some lunch, play some cards with the guys, take a nap, and then back into the nets for another 3-4 hours in the afternoon. So it was like 3-4 months of that session, and then into the series versus India under-19s and Bangladesh under-19s in 2007. So it was pretty good. Like the setup that Sri Lanka cricket had at the time, and the coaching staff, it was surreal at the time as well. So it was a pretty good experience.
So you moved to Canada then, and then pursued cricket here. What were the challenges that you faced, in that transition?
So, because I wasn't a Canadian citizen at the time, so it was about qualifying to play for Canada. The ICC rule is that you have to live in Canada for 3 years. So it was a lot of confusion at the time as well. I didn't know if I wanted to play for Canada or if I should be pursuing studies and look into get a job. So it was like I was kind of in the middle of both, and also didn't really get much guidance in terms of qualifying to play for Canada sooner. Because as soon as I came back to Canada, moved to Canada, I went back to Sri Lanka a couple of years to try and play club cricket down there because the standards were pretty good at the time. So that kind of delayed my process to qualify to play for Canada. So it was, like I said, confusion, and wasn't too sure what was going on. And then finally in 2015, qualified to play for Canada.
Now, so speak to me about the difference between cricket infrastructure in Canada and in Sri Lanka, because you mentioned that Sri Lanka is really formally set, especially with the under 19 structure, and then the difficulties in Canada when you first landed. So what's the difference? Because you've seen both and experienced both.
I mean, definitely the weather, right? Like, even in off season in Sri Lanka, you're like practicing outdoors, you're practicing on turf wickets. You got the best of the best facilities to even do like a minor training session. Whereas in Canada, we're kind of getting used to the indoor nets for 6-7 months in the year. Then you're kind of adjusting to outdoor. It takes it doesn't happen overnight. It takes a couple of days, couple of sessions, couple of games to kind of get used to that. So it's a huge difference for sure. It's gonna be tough to kind of replicate what the Sri Lankan setup or what any other Test cricket country has with Canada. But I mean, in terms of what they're doing now, the gym sessions, the practice sessions, the daily, sort of like skills training rather than just playing a bowler, the boring net sessions.
Yeah.
So we mostly skill developing. That's what we're focusing on during the off season, and then trying to go on tour as soon as we have a serious series coming up. So that's what we did when we had to go to Dubai for the ODI leg. We kind of went really early, which we're not kind of used to. We were away for about 35-40 days. But by the time that we had to play the important ODIs, we were kind of seasoned into that, the weather, the outdoor, the grounds, the turf wickets. So we were kind of ready for that. So, Cricket Canada's trying their best. The coach, they're trying their best to have that set up. So hopefully we can go through with that in the future series as well.
Yeah, that's very smart. And you said that I think it's supposed to be that you believe you guys would be playing the US in the T20 series as well. So that's a great, prequel to the World Cup.
Yeah, for sure. 5 games. I think prior to that, we'll be playing another 5 or 6 games against local minor league teams in Houston as well. So
Okay.
which will be good. So by the time those 5 games come up, we'll kind of be used to the conditions down there. And there's talks about another series in between the USA and the World Cup. So not quite sure if anything's confirmed at the time. So hopefully that comes up as well.
Now, what are some pointers you can give to someone who is interested and keen in playing cricket in Canada, especially with interest in the sport rising here?
I mean, because the ICC rules change. When I moved to Canada, it was 4 years that you have to live in a country to qualify if you're not a citizen.
Okay.
So right now I think it's 3 years. So kind of have to keep an eye on those rules. They keep changing, and work hard as well as you can on your game, and not also forgetting that you have other priorities as well. So things could change by the time you have to qualify to play for Canada. It's a long period. So you have to keep working hard, both on cricket and off the field stuff as well, and keep scoring runs. And hopefully you get the eye of a selector, and that'll take you a long way.
So you hold a record to be the 3rd batter to score 50 in T20 and ODI debut. Tell me, do cricketers remember all these records to the T? Like, I always wonder, is this something that they can recite from the back of their heads? Like, oh yeah, I got a 5 for here, I got a 4 for here, I made 68 runs here. Like, I wonder.
Oh yeah, cricketers remember cricket
Yeah.
100%. If you even if you go to like Ricky Ponting or even Sangakkara, they even Ashwin, they
Mhm.
know their records, they know the records that they're chasing. So cricketers do remember this stuff. For me personally, I didn't even realize that I scored like a 50 on my debut. Because it was
How do
like
you not remember a 50 on your debut? That's your first game.
I mean, it was the first time we were playing in ODI, but then we weren't used to it. So someone had to remind me like, oh, it's you scored a 50 on your T20I debut as well, and now it's a ODI debut. I was like, oh yeah, that's true.
I
So
realized, yeah,
then,
that's me. Like, yeah,
so then, yeah, you're looking back at it. You see only two people have done it before that, and it's a pretty good memory to cherish once you're retired and then your kids grow up and then something you can talk about.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully nobody beats it until then. Even if they do, you're still
Well,
in that. Yeah.
yeah, I'll
It's
be
a
the
nice
third,
category
so
to
the
win. It's one of those
next
that,
person will be the fourth. Yeah,
yeah. Yeah. It's not like a number of runs that can be beaten or
yeah,
something.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah. 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 So we all hear wicket keepers are good readers of the game. Tell me if that's true and then why.
that's very true. My teammates might say that I read it too much. Because I'm in Saad's ear or Harsh's ear every ball. So it's because like the keepers tend to see the whole field, what's going on, sometimes things that the captain can't see, or because they're kind of busy thinking about the next bowling change or what can we do next. Wicket keepers, they're standing next to the batter, kind of get a sense of what they're kind of going through as well. Obviously not reading their mind, but maybe you can get a sense of what they're planning to do next, or what kind of shot they're planning to play next. So you're always in the game as well when you're kind of reading the game. So that's kind of one way, I guess, the keepers kind of keep going that way.
What about, the fact that wicket keepers need to have fast reaction time, be focused, be extremely fit. So what do you do differently from, let's say, your teammates to ensure you are physically fit, mentally present? Any specific drills that you do?
Um, Nothing specific right now. Like I said, back when I was younger, coaches like made us do a lot of drills. It's like you day after day you're repeating. So those drills kind of get instilled in your body. So in terms of following the ball, sometimes you have to do remind yourself a little bit of basics just before a game or during training. But in terms of concentrating and being in the game, it's just about being active, following the ball, kind of chirping with the batter and helping out the fielders. That way, you're always in the game rather than kind of dozing off when there's a crucial time. But you know, it's easier. It's easier said than done. Because sometimes you kind of switch off, and then like a tough chance comes up, and then that could kind of have an effect in the game as well. So you have to make sure that you're always in the game.
So what about, you mentioned a chance can come. So how do you maintain a confidence, let's say after a dropped catch or a missed dumping opportunity?
It then you just have to tell yourself, be ready for the next one. You can't just keep thinking about what passed because you have no control over that now. So you kind of have to be ready for the next one, and it's something in a keeper's manual as well. You have to be ready for the next ball rather than thinking about what happened.
Mhm.
Because another chance may come, and if you hold on to that, that could change the game as well. So that's something that keepers have to do, and because keepers are always in the firing line, a chance can come anytime. So you just have to be ready.
You were part of the winning team Montreal Tigers in the last GT20. Tell me about your experience playing side by side. International players like, of course, Chris Lynn, Jermaine Rutherford, Andre Russell. There was a Basser Freedy. I think Mohammed Wasim was also there. How was that whole experience for you?
It was really good. Second time winning a GT20 championship. So it was good. Second time playing with Russell. We were the same team with Vancouver Knights the first year when we won it. Saad had that
Mhm.
man of the match performance in the final. So it was amazing, just because it's just the way how things kind of went for the Canadian team at the time, because GT20 kind of kicked off the ODI cycle. So just kind of rubbing shoulders with the big guys, and then going into the America's qualifier. It was, I think the guys took a lot of experience out of it. It helped our games, even in Bermuda as well. After losing the first game to Bermuda, it was just all about, kind of how can we use, the experiences we had to kind of bounce back, to beat Bermuda again, and beat the Cayman Islands, the Panamas, the way we did, to kind of get up on the net run rate. It was amazing. And even the guys like Chris Lynn, Mohammed Wasim, Ayan Khan from UAE as well,
Yeah.
they were simply amazing. It's just how cricket is now. Franchise cricket is normal, so it's just not like you go into a team and you're feeling shy. You don't know these guys. You have to kind of get up and running, because these tournaments are pretty fast as well, like pretty short. So just got to get comfortable, and kind of do your thing. So that's how franchise cricket is.
Any anecdote or specific memory from that whole experience? Anything funny, even silly, or just interesting?
Anything funny is Carlos Brathwaite.
Yeah.
He is one of the funniest guys that I played with. Very serious with his cricket. Has a full routine before games, gym, and what he eats and stuff. But when he gets out, it's just a different blowout. So when he gets out, comes into the dressing room, everyone just vanishes. No one's there inside. I could share the picture with you for later reference, but he threw the helmet, and the helmet just went into pieces. No one could use it after that, but it was just funny. And then every time after that he gets out, coach will go get his bat. Someone else will go grab his helmet so that he can't throw anything. So it was just funny.
That's hilarious. So GT20 is definitely putting cricket on the map in Canada, but Canada is still obviously far from embracing the sport truly. What do you think will it take for cricket in Canada to become mainstream? I mean, I'm not saying, beating hockey or basketball, but still, coming up to where it can be streamed on the local channels and people are more aware of it and going to the games and such.
I think in the next couple of months we'll have a big say, depending on how we go in the World Cup. I know we're grouped up with India, Pakistan, Ireland, USA, two of the four teams that we've beaten before. So, a surprise against India or Pakistan, which we're not dreaming of, but also we kind of have to, because now we're playing against these guys. So we have to kind of plan a way to kind of win, or how to compete against them. So next 3-4 months, it could have a big effect on how cricket will go in Canada, right? So and GT20 is doing a really great job in terms of promoting cricket in GTA and stuff like that. But again, it's up to Canada Cricket to see how we can grow the sport. And cricket's already one of the fastest growing sports in Canada. So I don't think we're far off from getting a gig in one of the national channels in Canada for sure.
I hope that too. Before we end, I have a segment I call Freead. So where I ask you questions in a kind of like a rapid fire kind of format, and you just tell me the first thing that comes to mind as a response. Okay.
Right.
You ready?
I think so.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I mean, they're not that crazy, so you should be okay.
Okay.
Okay. So favorite wicket keeper?
Adam Gilchrist.
Favorite food?
Sushi.
What's your favorite cricket shot?
Sweep shot.
Okay. Such a wicket keeper. Who's the toughest bowler you've kept to?
Kaleem Sana for sure. 100%.
Yeah. Books or movies?
Movies.
What's your favorite cricket ground to play at?
Play at I'd say Dubai International or Abu Dhabi International Stadium.
Okay. Go to snack before a game.
Go to snack before a game, whatever's in the ground. Just
Okay.
maybe a sandwich or a granola bar for sure. Yeah.
Okay. If you could time travel, would you go to the past or the future?
Oh, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. I'd say go to the past.
I was hoping you'd say future, and then I'd ask you, like, did you guys win? Should I be watching this tournament?
I'd like to be surprised. Let's see how
Okay.
things go for sure.
What's the most memorable innings you've played at? Just one.
Memorable innings, 100 versus Nepal, and that entire game.
Yeah. How do you deal with sledging or verbal challenges?
Just smile.
Yeah. And do you contribute to that?
I might kind of get them going if they are coming. Like if I'm batting second, if they're coming after me, I might be the one that kind of started off the sledging. But it's not like I don't go like fully. I kind of play kind of mind games. So
What about behind the wickets? How do you start something there?
uh it's just funny stuff. I don't really go personal or and anything abusive. Just something funny, something that'll get a chuckle out of the batter as well. And also get
Distract
the
them.
teammates going. Yeah.
What's your strategy for facing the first ball of an innings?
Try not to get out.
Yeah. Okay. Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
I saw that on your social media, so
Yeah.
I knew it was coming. Which other sport would you like to play or watch besides cricket?
I'm into golf now. I'm playing golf, so I like golf and
Boxing.
rugby to watch.
Okay, teach me how to say thank you in Sinhalese.
Stuti.
Okay, Stuti, Srimantha, it was a pleasure. Thank you for speaking with me.
Thanks for having me.
I wish you all the best for the upcoming T20 World Cup.
Thanks.